Hey guys, this is DeadRank, and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. Today I'll be looking at how to increase your stress resistance skill. Most people already know, but the best map to do this on is Shoreline. Once you see the second bear, you can either jump off the ledge to the right or to the left. The first attempt I do, I jump off the cliff to the right and don't quite get high enough to incur a bleeding effect, which is what you need. The goal with this jump is really just to get the bleeding effect on your body so that you can let your head and your thorax bleed out. Because if those take critical damage from the fire, you'll end up dying, which is not what we want. If you don't get it on the first jump, like me in this video, just pop a painkiller, preferably not an ibuprofen like I just did, because then you'll have to wait a while in order for the effects to wear off. Alright, so there we go. I got bleeding in both my legs, which actually helps decrease my health on all the parts of my body over time. And getting it on both legs is a little bit helpful to make it go faster, especially if you're in a live raid. Right now I'm in an offline raid. So what we're going to do is walk over by the campfire, sit in the bush, and wait for my head and my thorax to bleed out. As you can see, a lot of the skills have a modifier. There's little arrows that are either blue, non-existent, or red. These indicate how your skill is able to progress in the raid at the time. Blue indicates a skill that you haven't gotten many points in this raid, and that it actually boosts your point progression while the blue arrow is on. If it's blank, then that means you're at your standard or your normal level of progression for that skill. If it's a red down arrow, that indicates that you're unable to, or you're reduced in how many points you can earn for that skill. So the basis of this cheese method is basically to go sit in the fire and heal yourself over time. And having your stomach as the only thing alive makes it easy to sit there and just heal your stomach. As we do this, I've put in the upper right corner what our skills are currently at every time I check the skill tab and how much they've increased. So doing this fire cheese actually helps you build vitality, health, and stress resistance. As you continue sitting in the fire, make sure you keep checking your skills tab for the red down arrow, especially on stress resistance. And if you hover over the icon for stress resistance, it'll tell you how much the decrease or exhaustion level is that you're at. Once you get down below 50%, I would say stop and wait for it to wear off, because at that point you're just wasting meds and not really gaining that much points in your skills. Alright, so once you've reached that point of exhaustion where you stop sitting in the fire, you're going to have to sit in the bush for 5 minutes. And you'll need to time the 5 minutes because the red down arrow won't update until you actually gain another point in that skill again after 5 minutes. So it'll look like you're still debuffed or exhausted from that skill. But as we can see, I go back into the menu and that red arrow has changed, or the debuff has gone back up to 89%. So we're going to sit in the fire and do this for a little while longer. Alright, so after 2 rounds in the fire of basically exhausting the stress resistance skill, you can see that I've gained 19.3 stress resistance points. I decide I'm going to go into the fire and do it one more time. But what it's looking like is you gain roughly 9 points, or just under, between 9 and 10 points per exhaustion. Alright, so what does this all mean? This is the dedicated way to build stress resistance in Escape from Tarkov. If you're going to go in just to build stress resistance, and you get a little bit of health and vitality points as well, this is how you're going to want to do it. And what does this mean for the normal player playing the game? It means that you can roughly get the max of 30 points of stress resistance in a raid. And generally you won't even get there just playing the game normally. With the new debuff system, it really just incentivizes people to cheese the skill more, in my opinion, because you're never going to get to the level 8 needed for the Flint quest from Skier just playing the game normally. Alright, so I'm just finishing up my third round in the fire. As you can see, I've gained 29.3 points, but I've been sitting in raid doing this for quite a while, with the 5-minute intermissions to get rid of the debuff or exhaustion on my stress resistance skill. Here's a chart with the data of every time I looked at the skill screen while I was in the fire or healing, and you can see the change over time of the skills. Hopefully this gives you a better understanding of the exhaustion system in Escape from Tarkov as it relates to your skills leveling. I will be posting a guide soon on how to level strength in the same way as a solo player. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.